Trump is not a perfect person. I did not vote for a perfect person. You did not vote when you voted for Joe Biden. I truly believe, though, that Trump has the best interests of Americans at heart.
He's got the best interests of Putin and all the other dictators. That's who he wants. He doesn't care about us. He cares about his dictator friends.
Donald Trump's policies are sparking outrage, not just in blue states, but in the reddest parts of America. From Alabama to Ohio, Republican lawmakers are facing a wave of anger at their own town halls. Let's take a closer look at what people are saying.
Hey there again, everyone. It is 5 o'clock on the East Coast. I'm Stephanie Ruhle in for Nicole Wallace on this Labor Day. And it may have been summertime, but constituents were not taking it easy. Numerous Republican lawmakers were on the receiving end of serious frustration and straight-up anger from those they represent at recent in-person town halls. And many of these lawmakers were in states that voted overwhelmingly for Donald John Trump. I'm talking about Alabama and Ohio, where constituents slammed Trump's agenda items, things like cuts to Medicaid and the so-called Big Beautiful Bill, his harsh immigration crackdown, the federal takeover of Washington, D.C., and Donald Trump cozying up to dictators. Bottom line, the attendees were loud and clear, saying, "We do not want this." Take a listen at a little more of that anger just from this past week.
That frustration isn't isolated. Across Republican strongholds, constituents are openly pushing back against Trump's agenda, from Medicaid cuts to his immigration crackdown to his cozying up with dictators.
One of the representatives who held a town hall last week, Barry Moore of Alabama, left the event he held in his home district last week through the back door. Moore denied that he had to slip out, saying, quote, "We left like any other event. I think we tried to engage and answer questions, but unfortunately, it got hijacked." But you don't have to take his word for it. Judge for yourself.
Why are people not getting due process? Why are immigrants not getting due process?
So due process for a citizen and a non-citizen are different.
False. False. Lies. The 5th and 14th Amendments allow for it. The Supreme Court has backed it many times. Shame. Shame. Bye, Felicia.
At these events, lawmakers tried to defend Trump, but the pushback was loud, passionate, and relentless.
Trump is doing a great job of securing our border.
Well, the Big Beautiful Bill was actually the Trump tax cut.
And I would also say that Trump is not a dictator and he's not going to be a dictator. You may think that. He may have joked about that, quipped about that. That is his personality. I'm not a psychologist. But I'm not going to.
You're not helping me. Believe me, you're not helping me. You need to take your head out of Trump's ass and start doing your representation of us.
And that same energy wasn't just inside town halls. It spilled into the streets this Labor Day, with workers uniting to call out billionaires, corruption, and Trump's so-called takeover of democracy.
The movement against Trump and his party's anti-democratic ways is where we start this hour with three of my all-time favorite gentlemen, the host of the Bulwark podcast, MSNBC political analyst Tim Miller, plus MSNBC senior political analyst and Texas resident Matt Dowd, and Princeton University professor and MSNBC political analyst Eddie Glaude. Mr. Miller, you get the first crack at this. Your reaction to Republican lawmakers getting it handed to them at a whole bunch of town halls.
Hey, girl. Well, it's good to be with you. They deserve it, getting it handed to them. They're doing so few of these. I do think it's making it easy for people who are really engaged and really upset right now to organize and get out to those events. And that's what you're seeing, right? Like, we don't, obviously, Alabama is a red state. That's overwhelmingly voting for Republicans. It doesn't mean that there aren't any Democrats in Alabama. There are Democrats. There are independents. There are people that are Republicans who are unhappy with what's happening in the administration. And those are the folks that are motivated to turn out right now. I think that the thing that is probably the most meaningful about this is, that's what really drives midterm elections, energy, engagement, like which side is more motivated to act. Like you're seeing these things that opponents of this administration, broadly defined, are the ones that are the most engaged right now. I think that is a good sign for opposition as we head into, I guess there'll be a couple elections this November and then mostly next November. So I think that's like the biggest takeaway. I'm not sure that you're going to see much change in behavior from these Republicans. They didn't, very few of them actually did town halls, and you can kind of see why.
Eddie, what do you think?
I completely agree. First of all, it's great to see you, Stephanie. I completely agree with Tim. I think this is a sign of, among a particular portion of the electorate, of deep disagreement with Trump's policies. I think that's only going to intensify as the tariffs begin to impact that grocery bill and the efforts to purchase goods for families and for children and the like. I think that's only going to intensify. But I've yet to see whether or not this is going to translate in terms of a spine for some of these Republicans. As they see much more disagreement among the electorate with regards to Trump's policies, will that embolden them to disagree with Donald Trump? I don't think so. Will it give them, some cover to create some distance between themselves and Donald Trump's policies? I don't think so. So it's good for the midterms, I think. But in terms of their relationship to Donald Trump, I don't think anything will change.
Dr. Dowd, let's go to Chicago, because that is a city where Donald Trump may be deploying troops next. It was also one of the sites of the protests today. And I want to share a bit of sound from a couple of people who are there.
Are you concerned about the presence of possibly seeing tanks and National Guard members on our streets?
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's important to show up. It really is.
It's the only thing we have right now, because Congress is just not doing the job to stop him. So he has no checks and balances except us.
The people.
That's it.
The message is clear. Many Americans, even in Trump country, are fed up, and they're demanding accountability.
Today, on Labor Day, that same anger we heard at town halls is being taken to the streets. More than 1,000 workers over billionaires events are planned nationwide, protesting against the ultra-wealthy and corruption, looking instead to unify working-class people. Today's protests are organized by the same group that led the massive protests on May 1st, and they write the following, quote, "Just like any bad boss, the way we stop the takeover is with collective action. We are May Day strong, working people rising up to stop the billionaire takeover, not just through the ballot box or the courts, but through building a bigger and stronger movement."
This isn't just about politics. It's about people rising up, demanding to be heard. As protests grow and Republican lawmakers get called out in their own districts, one thing is clear. Trump's grip on America is facing real resistance.